The Galactic Council chamber was a place of power. The walls were made of crystal and light, shining with the flags of hundreds of worlds. But today, the room was strangely quiet. No voices, no movement. Only the sound of a small red light blinking. On the Council's main screen, that light meant there was a message. A message from Earth. The alien delegates looked at each other. For the last year, Earth's voice in this chamber had been soft, polite, and patient. Humans had asked for peace again and again, even when their colonies were attacked. Many aliens saw this as weakness. They thought humans were too afraid to fight. The seat of Earth's ambassador was empty. 2 weeks ago, he had walked out of this chamber after his final request for peace was laughed at. Now only the blinking light remained, the High Speaker of the Council. A tall insectoid being named Vratel clicked its mandibles. Play the message it ordered. The screen came to life. A human face appeared. It was Ambassador Isaac Hale, the man who had always spoken with calm words and careful smiles. But this time, there was no smile. His eyes were cold. "Members of the Council," he began, his voice slow and steady. "For years, Earth has chosen peace. We have tolerated insults, attacks, and the destruction of our people. We have trusted in diplomacy. We believed reason would win over greed." No one moved in the chamber, but Hale continued, "Our patience is gone. This is the final message you will receive from the United Earth government before we take action." A murmur passed through the alien delegates. Some laughed quietly, thinking this was another empty threat. Others stayed silent, feeling a strange heaviness in the room. Hale leaned closer to the camera. "If you want peace, you will stop now. If you don't, the next words you hear from Earth will not be spoken. They will be fired." The screen went black. Red light stopped blinking. The silence that followed was heavier than stone. No one dared speak for several minutes. 2 years earlier, things had been very different. Earth had joined the Galactic Council as a young, hopeful member. Humans brought new technology, new trade routes, and new ideas. Many alien worlds welcomed them, but others saw humans as a threat to their power. The first attack came on a human mining colony in the Vega system. A fleet from the Thalrun Dominion destroyed the colony's defense satellites and took the mines. Hundreds of miners were killed. Earth protested in the Council, but no punishment came. More attacks followed, human trade ships disappearing, colonies raided, fleets surrounded by inspection forces that stole their cargo. Every time Earth called for peace talks. Every time the Council promised to investigate, but nothing changed. Some believed humans were weak. Some believed humans had no army worth fearing. They were wrong. Back in the present, Council Speaker Vratel tapped its long claws on the desk. "Empty threats," it said, trying to sound confident. "Humans talk. They do not act." A representative from the Varun Republic, a reptilian species with golden scales, leaned forward. "Perhaps, but did you hear his voice?" There was no fear. A smaller delegate from the Cathari Union whispered, "You think they will fight?" The reptilian's golden eyes narrowed. "I think they already have." That same night, in the shadows of deep space, a massive shape drifted silently between the stars. Its hull was black, its engines dim, almost invisible. It was a ship, but not like any the galaxy had seen. Inside, hundreds of human crew members moved with quiet purpose. They wore no insignia, no bright colors. The ship's AI tracked alien fleet movements across dozens of systems. On the command deck, Admiral Kira Voss stood with her hands behind her back, watching the stars. Transmission delivered to the Council. Her comm officer reported. Voss didn't look away from the viewport. "Good," she said. "Now they know. Prepare." The fleet. Back in the Council chamber, the alien delegates argued late into the night. Some called for action against Earth before humans could cause trouble. Others said Earth was bluffing and any attack would make the Council look weak. But far away beyond their sensors, something was already moving. Human fleets, hidden for decades, were leaving their secret shipyards. Engines roared to life in the dark. Weapons charged silently. Coordinates were set. Earth had sent its final peaceful words. The next words would indeed be fired. It began on a quiet morning in the Yelron sector. Human trade fleet, 6 cargo ships and 2 light escorts drifted peacefully along their route. They were carrying medical supplies, food, and rare metals to a neutral system. The crews thought they were safe. They were wrong. Without warning, a fleet of Thought Dominion warships dropped out of hyperspace. 20 heavily armed destroyers surrounded the human ships. The Thought commander sent only one message: surrender everything or be destroyed. The human escort captain tried to negotiate. This is a neutral trade route. We are under the protection of the Galactic Council. The Thought commander laughed. The Council will do nothing.
Ow.
They never do. Minutes later, the first human ship exploded. The escorts fought bravely, but they were outnumbered and outgunned. One by one, the cargo ships were destroyed or captured. More than 3,000 people died that day. News of the massacre reached Earth within hours. It was broadcast on every human channel: the burning ships, the screams of the crew, the cold laughter of the Thought commander. In the war room beneath Earth's capital city, leaders gathered. The long table was lined with generals, admirals, and intelligence officers. President Alara Chen stood at the head of the table, her eyes sharp. "This," she said, pointing at the frozen image of a burning cargo ship, "is the last attack they will ever make on us without consequence." Some advisors hesitated. "We could still try diplomacy." Chen slammed her hand on the table. "No, we tried that. They saw it as weakness. We warned them. We act." The doors opened, and a woman in a black fleet uniform walked in. She was tall, with silver streaks in her hair, and her presence filled the room. "Admiral Kira Voss," Chen said. "The Council ignored us. The galaxy thinks we are weak. Show them the truth." Voss nodded. "The fleets are ready. We move tonight." Far from Earth, hidden in the Kuiper Belt beyond Pluto, enormous hangar doors opened. From the darkness, ships emerged, black as the void, edges glowing faintly with blue energy. These were not the small, outdated ships the galaxy had seen in public parades. These were Earth's hidden weapons, warships built in secret shipyards. Tested in deep space, far from alien eyes, each was armed with weapons no alien sensor had ever scanned. Singularity cannons that could tear a hole through a battleship. In one shot, EMP lances that could blind entire fleets in seconds. Graviton mines that could trap enemy ships in invisible prisons of warped space. For decades, while the galaxy mocked humans, they had been preparing. The first target was chosen. Carefully, the Thought Dominion's largest military hub in the Yelron sector. The alien base was heavily fortified, orbiting a gas giant, and guarded by 2 full fleets. Or so they thought. At 3 o'clock station time, alien sensors picked up a faint anomaly at the system's edge. It looked like a small meteor shower. But then, the meteors changed course. Black shapes emerged from the shadows, dozens of human warships moving in complete silence. Their engines barely glowed, their weapons already armed. Thought defense commanders scrambled to raise shields and call reinforcements, but the calls never left the system. Human cyber warfare. Units had already taken control of the communication network hours earlier. On the bridge of the human flagship, UN's Resolute, Admiral Voss stood at the center. "Targets locked," her weapons officer reported. Voss's voice was calm, almost cold. Fire. The darkness lit up. Blue-white beams cut through the void, smashing into alien ships before they could fire a single shot. Thought destroyers vanished in bursts of light and twisted metal. The alien station tried to raise its planetary shield. But a swarm of human drones slammed into the generators, tearing them apart. Within minutes, the entire defense fleet was gone. The station floated helplessly, its weapons silenced, its commanders screaming into deadcomes. Voss opened a channel to the alien commander. His face appeared, blood draining from his scaled cheeks. "This is Admiral Voss of the United Earth Navy," she said. "You destroyed unarmed human ships. You murdered civilians. You thought there would be no price." She leaned forward, her eyes like steel. "Now you are the price." The channel cut off. Seconds later, the station was consumed in a white flash as the singularity cannon fired. Across the galaxy, news spread like wildfire. Alien worlds that had called humans harmless now whispered in fear. The footage showed black human warships tearing apart fleets like paper, moving with deadly precision. But Earth wasn't finished. Voss sent a single transmission, unencrypted. For every star system to hear, peace was our first choice. You chose war, we will finish it. Words echoed across the stars. And for the first time in centuries, the galaxy realized humanity was not to be underestimated. The destruction of the Thalron military hub sent shockwaves across the galaxy. For centuries, alien empires had fought wars, but battles took months or years. Fleets clashed, retreated, rebuilt, and fought again. No one had ever seen an enemy strike so fast, so hard, and leave nothing behind. The Council tried to control the news, but the truth spread anyway. Holofeeds showed black human warships cutting through alien lines like blades through paper. Survivors described their weapons in whispers, as if saying the words too loudly might bring the humans to their door. Some thought the Thalron attack on the trade fleet had been a mistake. Others believed it was only the first step in a much larger war. But no one expected what happened next. 3 days after the Yelrin attack, Crow's Dominion, another alien empire that had raided human colonies, woke to alarms. The night sky above their capital world lit up with fire. Human warships were already in orbit. No warning, no declaration of war. They came out of the dark, cloaked until the moment they fired. Crow's defense fleets launched from the surface, but half their ships exploded before they even cleared the atmosphere. Human drones, invisible to radar, slipped into their launch bays and detonated charges. On the ground, cities went black as power grids failed. Human cyber teams had already infected their systems days earlier, hiding inside until they were needed. In the command chamber of the UN's resolute Admiral Kira Voss watched the holographic map. Enemy ships appeared as red points of light. One by one, they blinked out. "Sector clear," her operations officer reported. Voss didn't smile. "Move to the next target," she ordered. No delays. The human fleet jumped to hyperspace, leaving behind nothing but wreckage. Back in the Galactic Council chamber, panic had replaced arrogance. "This is an outrage," shouted the Veruan delegate. "They are destroying entire fleets without giving us a chance to respond." "They warned us," said the Cathari ambassador quietly. "We laughed. Now they are proving their words." High Speaker Vertel slammed a claw on the table. "We must unite against Earth before it is too late." But not everyone agreed. Several smaller empires had already sent secret messages to Earth, offering peace in exchange for safety. No one wanted to admit it out loud, but fear was spreading faster than any fleet. Meanwhile, humanity's campaign was only just beginning. The Foros Alliance, known for enslaving human prisoners, found their shipyards gone in a single night. No battle, no survivors. Satellite images showed empty docks where hundreds of warships had once been. The Valor Syndicate, infamous for raiding human space stations, woke to find every single one of their major banks emptied. Trillions of credits had vanished, stolen by human AI programs that left only one message in their systems: debt collected. Inside the Resolute, Admiral Voss addressed her officers. "For decades they called us weak. They thought we were harmless. They thought our patience meant fear. But we learned from them. Every attack they made, we studied. Every trick, every weapon, every mistake. Now we use it all against them." Her voice was calm, but every word carried iron. A young lieutenant asked, "Admiral, what is the goal?" "Total destruction." Voss looked out at the stars. "Our goal is that no one in this galaxy will ever dare harm Earth again. It's not in 100 years, not in 1,000. The galaxy had fought many wars, but this was different. Humans didn't fight like the others. They didn't send massive fleets to clash head-on. They struck from the shadows, destroyed everything of value, and vanished before the enemy could even respond. They didn't just win battles. They erased the possibility of resistance. One Crow's admiral, a survivor of the second attack, described it in horror. They don't fight for territory. They don't fight for resources. They fight to end you. Completely. On the fourth day of the campaign, the Galactic Council received another message from Earth. It was short, only 2 sentences, and it played on every channel, in every star system. This is not a war you can win. This is a war you started, and we will decide when it ends. Across the galaxy, worlds went silent. Trade routes shut down. Armies pulled back from human borders, and still, no one knew where the next strike would land, because the humans weren't just fighting back, they're hunting by the 7th day of the war. The galaxy was unrecognizable. Trade lanes that had been crowded for centuries now sat empty. Alien warfleets hid in their own space, too afraid to venture out. Entire sectors went dark, their communications silent, afraid that even sending a signal might bring human warships to their door. The United Earth. Navy was everywhere, yet no one could predict where they would strike next. The Veltran Combine. A proud empire that had once laughed at humans became the first to surrender without a fight. Their leader, Chancellor Drovik, sent a desperate transmission directly to Earth's capital. We will end all hostilities. We will pay reparations. We only ask that you spare our worlds. Earth accepted the surrender, but made the terms clear. No ships within 20 light-years of human space. Full cooperation with any human fleet requesting passage. The Veltron people agreed instantly. The galaxy watched in shock. An empire that had stood for 6 centuries had bent the knee in less than a week. On the Resolute. Admiral Kira Voss studied a long list of targets on the holomap. 3 more empires ready to surrender, Harade reported. Good, Voss replied. We'll take them after the Krovac systems are secure. Keep the pressure on. Her fleet moved with perfect precision. Some strikes lasted only minutes, ending with total destruction of military bases. Others were simply shows of force, appearing in orbit above enemy capitals, weapons charged but never firing, till the local leaders sent surrender codes. The psychological effect was devastating. Alien leaders began to understand. Humans didn't need to conquer worlds. They only needed to make you believe they could. In the Galactic Council chamber, chaos reigned. This is no longer about Thalrun aggression, shouted the Varuan delegate. This is about survival. Earth will keep going until we all bow to them. The Cathari ambassador shook his head. They warned us. They told us to stop. We refused. This is our doing. High Speaker Vertel clicked its mandibles nervously. We must call for an emergency alliance to stop them. Stop them. The reptilian Varuan representative hissed. You think you can stop them now? Their fleets are everywhere. Even our home systems are not safe. The fear was not only in the council. Across the galaxy, ordinary citizens watched the war unfold on their holoscreens. In markets, in schools, in homes, people whispered about the humans, the species, that had once been mocked for their diplomacy, now feared for their ruthlessness. Some called them monsters. Others called them the galaxy's new protectors. In the Thalron capital, where the first massacre of human civilians had begun this war, the skies were dark with smoke. Human drones patrolled the skies while local authorities dismantled their own weapons under Earth's supervision. A reporter asked Admiral Voss during a rare press appearance. What is the end goal of this campaign? Voss's answer was as cold as it was simple. To make sure no one ever forgets what happens when you push Earth too far. Meanwhile, in the shadows, another part of Earth's strategy unfolded. Special operations units, small, silent, and invisible to most sensors, infiltrated key enemy systems. They sabotaged shipyards, erased military databases, and removed dangerous leaders without a single shot fired in public. Entire planetary governments woke up one morning to find their leaders gone and their armies under new orders: stand down or be destroyed. It was not just war. It was control. By the 10th day, the galaxy had changed forever. 7 empires had surrendered outright. 4 more had pulled all fleets back from human space and signed secret non-aggression pacts. The Council had lost nearly half its influence. But perhaps the most shocking event came when the Etherian Ascendancy, one of the most powerful military powers in the galaxy, declared neutrality in the conflict. Their reason was simple. They didn't want to be next, inside the UN's Resolute. Admiral Voss stood with her senior officers. "We are approaching the point where fear will do the rest of the work for us," her intelligence chief reported. Voss nodded. "Good. Then we won't have to waste ammunition." She turned toward the stars. "Begin preparations for the Council's homeworld. It's time they understand they are not untouchable." Far away, in the Grand Council chamber, the High Speaker received a short message. No signature, no greeting. Just a few words. "You will speak to Earth on our terms." The chamber fell silent. For the first time in history, the Galactic Council realized it no longer decided the galaxy's future, Earth did. The Galactic Council homeworld was a jewel of the stars, a planet of silver towers, green oceans, and skies filled with glittering traffic lanes. For thousands of years it had been the center of power, the place where empires rose and fell, with a single vote. But on this day, the skies above the Council were empty. The great space lanes had been cleared. Civilian ships were ordered to stay away. Defense fleets hovered nervously above the atmosphere, every weapon aimed at the void. They were waiting. For the humans, the first human ship appeared without warning. No hyperspace flash, no engine roar, just a silent shadow slipping into orbit. Then another and another. Within minutes, the sky was filled with black steel giants, their weapons. Glowing with cold light, the UN's Resolute took position directly above the Council's grand chamber. Inside, panic gripped the delegates. Some shouted for the fleets to fire. Others screamed to open peace talks immediately. The High Speaker could only stare at the massive warship above them. Admiral Kira Voss's voice echoed across the Council chamber through every screen and every speaker. "This is Admiral Voss of the United Earth Navy," she said, her tone calm but deadly. "We have fought our way across your galaxy not because we wanted to, but because you left us no choice." She paused, letting her words sink in. "You attacked our people. You laughed at our pleas. You believed our desire for peace meant we were weak. You were wrong." Every alien in the chamber sat frozen. High Speaker Vertel finally found its voice. "Admiral Voss, what do you want?" Voss didn't hesitate. "I want an end. An end to the arrogance. An end to the raids. An end to the belief that humans are prey for stronger powers." Her eyes narrowed. "And I want a promise from every single empire here that if one more human is harmed, you will lose more than ships. You will lose your worlds." Murmur spread through the chamber. Some delegates wanted to resist. Others, remembering the destruction of entire fleets in minutes, knew it was suicide. The High Speaker's mandibles clicked in defeat. "The Council accepts your terms." Voss's voice was colder than ice. "It's not enough. You will announce this agreement publicly. Every world will hear it. Every citizen will know that peace exists only because Earth allows it." That same day, the Council broadcast the new treaty to the entire galaxy. It was short, only 2 lines. "The United Earth government will not be threatened. Any act of aggression against humanity will be met with immediate and overwhelming force." And beneath those words, Earth's new motto appeared. "Peace was our first choice. Not anymore." As the broadcast ended, human fleets began to withdraw from occupied systems, but they did not disappear. Instead, they positioned themselves at key points across the galaxy, visible reminders that Earth's reach now extended everywhere. The message was clear: peace was restored. But it was peace under human terms. In the weeks that followed, the galaxy adjusted to its new reality. Trade returned. But no one forgot the war. On dozens of worlds, children played games pretending to be human soldiers, striking from the shadows and defeating impossible odds. Merchants sold tiny models of black human warships. Alien leaders made speeches praising peace, but in private, they warned each other, never anger Earth again. On the bridge of the UN's Resolute, Admiral Voss stood alone, staring at the stars. Her aide approached quietly. "It's done, Admiral. The Council has signed. The war is over. Voss didn't answer right away. She knew the galaxy would call. This, the end of the war. But in truth, it was only the beginning of a new order. Finally, she spoke. Good. Then let's make sure they never forget. It's far away on Earth. President Alara Chen addressed her people. My fellow humans. She began, we have shown the galaxy who we are. We sought peace, but we are not afraid of war. We are builders, explorers. But when threatened, we are also protectors and warriors. Today the galaxy will think twice before lifting a weapon against us. That is our victory. Her final words, echoed through history. Peace was our first choice. Not anymore. From that day forward, the galaxy entered a new era, an era where the shadow of Earth's fleets stretched across the stars. Some called it fear, others called it safety. But everyone knew the truth. Humanity had spoken its final words. The galaxy would never be the same again.